So, Starfield. It's been more than a month since we got our first look at Bethesda's next game with the official gameplay reveal at the Xbox Showcase event. And well, let's just say that the discussion surrounding Starfield has been pretty chaotic. While lots of people are excited for it, there's also a huge portion of people that are pretty worried about it, and among these worries are whether the game will be a broken mess like Fallout 76 was at launch, but most importantly, whether Starfield will even be a fun experience at all, even if it's completely bug-free at launch, which, it won't be. Now, why do I say that? Well, before the gameplay showcase was revealed, there had been numerous leaks up until the Xbox showcase. And some of these supposed leaks spoke of how parts of the gameplay in Starfield just wasn't very fun at all, ship flight being specifically singled out as a problem in one particular leak. And then just fairly recently, Bethesda decided to move the release date to 2023, effectively delaying the game for several months. And as of publishing this video, we still don't know the exact date for when Starfield is going to release. Now this could mean that the supposed leak that singled out ship flight as a problem was actually truthful, and by delaying the game, Bethesda might be able to make this part of the game more enjoyable. Among other things, as the showcase was probably meant to gauge people's expectations somewhat. Now, aside from the aforementioned worries, there is one aspect of Starfield that I am personally looking forward to, something that thankfully hasn't raised any red flags. As most of you guys know who are familiar with this channel, I've mainly covered the Mass Effect franchise so far. And while Starfield and Mass Effect are different games by very different developers altogether, at their core, both of these games might be more similar than you'd think. Besides the obvious things like the fact that they're both science fiction role-playing games, I'm pretty sure that Starfield takes a lot of inspiration from what made at least the first Mass Effect such a magical experience. And that, my ladies and gents, is of course immersing you into a universe filled with things to discover and mysteries to be uncovered. Thing is, after the Starfield showcase, a lot of the discussion has mostly surrounded basic gameplay things. The ground combat and shooting mechanics seems a bit lackluster. The ship flight, as mentioned, could be really boring despite what the footage showed us, and the over 1,000 planets there are to explore made lots of people think of No Man's Sky, but not in a good way. More on that later, by the way. Now, while I do understand that the discussions surrounding these parts of the game are important, considering that combat and ship flight are the bread and butter of Starfield, it is really unfortunate that these discussions have completely overshadowed the things that made me and many others excited for Starfield in the first place. You see, in the middle of the showcase trailer, we meet with some of the main characters that we'll be seeing a lot of throughout the main story. Like the mysterious blonde woman who we can hear talking in the official reveal trailer a while back and who also narrates the story part of the showcase trailer.
They say, the wonder is, not that the field of stars is so vast, but that we have measured it. You're part of Constellation now. Part of our family.
Now, while I wish that I could say that it's possible to engage in a romantic relationship with said mystery woman in-game, the romance aspect is not something that I would look at being more similar to Mass Effect. In all honesty, romance is probably gonna work in the same way that previous Bethesda titles have done it, like in Skyrim for example. No, the one thing that makes me most excited for Starfield is this mystery that the blonde woman is talking about.
What's out there? These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for. As to what they are, what they're building, you'll be part of solving that puzzle now.
So, you found something?
The new guy found it.
You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions?
As far as we know, the game's introductory stages will have us investigate some mysterious artifact that gives our character some sort of vision. A vision that takes us on a journey throughout the galaxy in order to solve a mystery that could change, well, everything. Now, looking at this as a Mass Effect fan, it's pretty clear that this story sort of mimics the beginnings of the first Mass Effect, that of the Prothean beacon that Commander Shepard finds on the planet Eden Prime.
No, don't touch it! Too dangerous!
Said beacon gives Shepard mysterious visions that lead to a galaxy-spanning adventure in order to solve the puzzle of what the visions mean. It's also clear that at some point in Starfield's story, we will uncover an alien artifact that seems to lead to something much greater, possibly a huge revelation that leads to a new chapter in a much bigger story. Now, from the looks of it, Bethesda has definitely nailed the mystery part, and we have only gotten a small glimpse of what the main story will be about. And while I do want to see more of it before Starfield releases, it's probably a good thing that Bethesda keeps things under wraps regarding the story and the main mystery that we will work to uncover. So with all this said, if you are a fan of the Mass Effect games but you never really saw the appeal in Starfield, here you go. Mass Effect is a franchise that's mostly known for its rich characters, that's true, but it all started with a great mystery. And by the looks of it, this is what we're going to get with Starfield. Who knows, the story might lead us to a first contact type of situation with super intelligent alien life. Something that I'm pretty sure will be a thing considering that we've already seen a pretty substantial number of creatures in the showcase trailer. Now, speaking of mystery and discovery, I want to clarify something important. One thing to mention is that despite all the No Man's Sky comparisons, I sincerely doubt that Starfield will be anything like No Man's Sky upon release. Oh, and for clarification, No Man's Sky is a much better game today. I'm specifically talking about the core mechanics here and the state it was in at launch. Now, when it comes to Starfield, words like procedural generation has been thrown around a lot, but procedural generation is nothing that is new to Bethesda's games. Most of the games from Bethesda that you've no doubt already played have all used some form of procedural generation. A prime example here being the overall maps themselves that Bethesda usually generate procedurally, which they then adjust manually. Sure, they probably don't have the manpower to adjust thousands of entire planets by hand, but then again, most of these explorable planets will be entirely optional according to Todd Howard. So the main story and the greater mystery won't be impacted by the immense size of the game, because most of that is just there as an extra bonus in case you want to be lost in the field of stars. See what I did there? Starfield is probably gonna be more comparable to the first Mass Effect after all is said and done, and that's why I'm personally looking forward to it so very much. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, have a great day. Mr. Holton signing out.